Hello you fragrance fans out there, my name is Thomas, and in this video I want to introduce myself. I want to tell you how I got into fragrances via vlog and give you a little understanding of what I think about fragrances, how I came into it. First I want to give a huge shout out to Timmy from Imagine Scents. Great guy. I will drop a link to his channel in the description at the end of the video. He was gracious enough to give me a few pointers and tips on how to improve my content and how to get better videos. So the first thing I implemented was getting a better camera. My webcam wasn't ideal. Unfortunately, this camera has a much more sensitive microphone and you might get the hum of my central heating. So I hope it's not too bad. But again, check out Timmy's channel. Great production value, funny guy, good videos. Give him a try, give him some likes, give him a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to his channel. But let's dive into what I wanted to talk initially. It's about how I got into fragrances, how I got interested in it, and first things first, where I am. So my name's Thomas, I'm 32 years old and I live in Germany, and I was born here in Germany. I'm studying railway engineering. I dropped out of university a few times before because it just wasn't what I wanted to do. It was the courses and the subject wasn't what I wanted to do. And in railway engineering I found something that I quite like, and I think I can imagine myself working in the future and for the rest of my life. So I think I will finish in about a year. I'm living in Friedberg, which is north of Frankfurt, and to be honest, Frankfurt is a good spot for a fragrance enthusiast. The largest Douglas store in all of Germany is in Frankfurt. They also carry designer scents as well as niche scents. And on top they sell boutique exclusives of some designer lines like Dior, Mugler, Chanel, Dolce & Gabbana and what have you. So yeah, it's a good spot there. We also have niche perfumeries, several of them to be precise. Great spot if you want to check out fragrances, buy them and experience them. Yeah, but how did I get into it? To be quite frank, at first I didn't care about fragrances that much. I thought most of the designer scents were rubbish or crap or bad. It was a huge amount of money for a kid. Although I always had expensive hobbies where I collected stuff and where I tried out new things, it never quite struck me to get into fragrances at that point. So I was pretty much wearing deodorant sprays and body sprays like Axe or the Deo sprays of famous designer scents, and I was okay with that. I thought that it was the ideal thing. You get the deodorizing effect and then you get a nice scent, but from what I know now, you get a deodorant that is not that good and you get scented armpits which doesn't have much protection. That stuff dies down fast. It's not the ideal spot to spray it, so better don't use the deodorant sprays unless you have the accompanying scent and you really want to. But I prefer wearing non-scented or minimally scented good deodorant and then spray fragrances on the good spots on my body. Yeah, my parents never were too much into fragrances. My father still is of the opinion that a gentleman should add maximum smell of his aftershave and of nothing else. I obviously disagree. My mother sometimes uses fragrances but also reserves them for special occasions and also is not too deep into it, so she prefers the easy to digest lighter fragrances. I was never introduced to the whole range or the world of fragrances because my parents didn't care, and so why would I care? Yeah, but from one of my visits at the Douglas stores where I bought my skincare products from back in the day, the sales associates always want to get you to sniff fragrances and get you to buy something more, and of course it's what they are there for. And then I was introduced to Pie by Givenchy, and that fragrance was the first one that actually blew my mind. It was so different, it was so rich, it was deeper, it had this tonka flair which all the freshies and boring stuff didn't have, and I was hooked. I picked that up and I wore that thing for 10 years. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to apply them correctly, and I was applying one spray on my chest every day. That stuff lasts about 6 to 7 hours, and it doesn't project if you put it on your chest. Nobody smelled it. It was just for me, it was enough, but I never got the good experience of getting compliments or somebody actually saying, oh my god, Thomas, you smell so good. Never happened. But yeah, that's what I did. And later in my fragrance journey, I came into contact with influencers in the men's style department, like Real Man with Style, Alpha M, and Gentleman's Gazette, to name 3, because I wanted to improve my not my fashion, but my style, my overall appearance. I think it worked out quite well, but at some point you realize, or I realized, that you peaked, that whatever else you could do was either not worth it or not implementable, like dressing up in a suit every day. As a university student, that's just ridiculous. Just looks off, makes no sense, waste of money. But yeah, through those I came into contact with fragrances, or the idea of wearing a cologne. And then at the time I was already studying here, but we also have another campus in Gießen, and Gießen is a little bit larger than Friedberg. So I went into a local perfumery there, and they had some niche. They had Serge Lutens, they had Acqua di Parma and Treat, I think. And because I had a little fragrance sample that I got from an order of skincare products, I think it was Sadiq and Voltaire, this is him, and this incense note just was intriguing me. So I asked for something with incense, and they showed me several Serge Lutens, which is a brand that, if you're not familiar with it, uses incense in a lot of their fragrances. And there I smelled Fille en Aiguille, I hope I didn't butcher the name too much, which again was the big bang for my love for niche fragrances. It was so different. The pine needles, the incense, this resinous, sweet stuff. It was just so different from all the designers out there. Immediately fell in love with it. I picked up a bottle later, and I still cherish the fragrance to this day. But this one reinvigorated my interest, or sparked my interest in fragrances. It just showed me that there maybe was a whole different world in niche sense, and that I was probably looking for the wrong things. So I delved into YouTube reviewers about fragrances. And of course the first one I came across was Jeremy Fragrance, the poster child of the fragrance YouTubers. And while at first his content was interesting, the pretty girls testing the fragrances, the top 10 list, of course that's what a casual viewer is interested in, and that's what he likes. And that's what Jeremy does. And was what I was comfortable with at that time. But after a few of those videos, and after getting deeper into it, I realized what he liked, what he suggested, wasn't for me. I was shaking my head like, what the fuck is this Aero stuff? It smells so horrible, so cheap, so synthetic. And then I asked a friend of mine, who I remembered was a fraghead already 10 years ago, I think, when we were still playing Magic together in our local group. And I hit him up on Facebook and said, dude, Daniel, I remember you were into fragrances. Can you give me some pointers? Can you give me some YouTubers that you think are great? And he said, well, probably you should check some of the old guard out, like Robes 08, Drag Dog, Riddle Essence. And I checked those out, and I thought, wow, that's how I wanted to be introduced to fragrances. In depth, all the facts, all the opinions, long videos. Okay, sometimes they can get too long and a little bit tiring, but I didn't want those top lists all the time and those first sniff impressions that tell you nothing about a fragrance. I wanted the Robes, I wanted the Drag Dog, I wanted the Real Essence guys, I wanted the in-depth, down to the bottom of the fragrance stuff. Still love those guys. Check out their channels if you want to. So that's pulled me in deeper and deeper, and by now I'm pretty deep into the fragrance rabbit hole. I own 43 fragrances, most of them, or not most of them, the bigger part of them being niche, just because they intrigue me more. Yeah, what you can see there is my wine cooler where I store them, which probably is over the top, but I'm a little bit overly cautious with storing them, because my bottle of pie went bad in my cabinet with a glass window, so the sunlight killed it after all, and I can't realistically get the ultramelation anymore easily. yeah, so I'm a bit more worried about my fragrances going bad now. So as I said, right now I'm at 40 fragrances. It's probably growing, but I'm happy where I'm at now. And I'm really happy with the hobby. I was dabbling in collecting stuff all my life, all the time. At one point I was collecting spirits like whiskey and rum and gin, and I still love it, but I'm not that big of a drinker. With 2 centiliters I'm just set, and I find it tiresome to have ingredients to make cocktails at handy all the time, because I just don't drink 10 cocktails a day to get to use up all the juices, all the ingredients before they go bad. So it makes no sense. And in fragrances I have the same collecting, I have the same aspect of olfactory and sensory impressions that are just hallmarks or pointers of incredible craftsmanship and quality, and yeah, it's just what I like. And as for the type of fragrances I prefer, I am not that big into freshies except when it's hot and in the summer, and the only company that can regularly sell a freshie to me right now is Creed, because I don't know what they do, but their freshies are just right down along my alley. So easy to like, so good, so well made, a little bit expensive, but well, you're dropping a lot of my cash on that stuff anyway, so why not spend a few bucks extra to get what you like. So yeah, I think that covers how I got into fragrances and why I do a vlog. I always had an interest or a passion for sharing my impressions, for sharing my hobbies, for sharing the excitement with other people. I was writing blogs when I played Magic the Gathering back in the day, and yeah, when the interest for that died down, for a long time there was a vacuum, but now I decided to give it a shot and do what I like again. Yeah, and that's pretty much how I got into it, who I am, and why I do this. So I hope you can draw some conclusions from that for yourself. I gave you some other reviewers I enjoy. Again, huge shout out to Timmy for setting me up with a plan or a roadmap on how to improve my content. It's not too much about the subscribers, although that's like compliments in fragrances. It's not why I'm into it, but I'm happy for each new one. It's just nice to have them. It's just nice to have interaction with people. The fragcom is just, as I experienced it so far, extremely nice, extremely well-meaning, and they're all brothers and sisters. It's just great. If you have your own fragrance journey, if you are vlogging yourself, just out of interest, tell me in the comment section how you got into it, why you vlog, or why you would vlog, or why you aren't vlogging or doing your own blog. Because to be honest, that also was something that I always loved. It's not just broadcasting my opinions and my viewpoints to the audience. This was also getting feedback. It was getting back. It was discussing in the comments. Sometimes it was just well, shouting matches in the comments of my Magic articles about what card to use, what's right, what's wrong. But you learn from that if you do it the right way, and that's what I like about the fragcom as well. Every one of us senses or loves different fragrances, so it's not also all about bad and good, but why someone likes it, why someone enjoys it, how someone views it. And I think in a video like this I can give you a little bit more insight into where I come from and why I do this. If you like this video, I hope you consider subscribing so you are notified about future content in your feed, and drop me a like. Check out Timmy from Imagine Scent, and smell you next time. Hope you have a nice day. See you.